Okay, so I have the ET6 out again. Remember, we're trying to find a spring that fits to replace the governor spring, and I've been scavenging springs out of cigarette lighters and cigar lighters because the spring that is underneath the flint is a very similar size to what's in the governor here, but I don't know if any of the new ones that I've found are gonna be the right size. So we're gonna pull this apart. And we have to take the bottom pins out of this, out of the governor arms here. And I should have gotten my forceps out before I turned the camera on, but luckily right. Come on, there we go. Top comes off, and then we have to twist it gently to the side to get it around this little nut that is inside there to help lock this in place. Now, the original spring, which I will put on that toothpick to keep track of it. And that one doesn't fit. Oh, this is a new one, and they curl the edges and make the ends tinier here, so I need to cut the end off this one. This one, too small. This one's probably too small as well. Yep. Of course, the issue I end up having is this one is also just ever so slightly too small. That's a very close fit. Thing is that this spring has to be exactly the right size to go over the shaft and slide freely, but not be so big that it binds on the inside of this fitting here, because this inside there doesn't fit super well. At least I've had issues before. So I need to get this one cut to test it for size, and I think maybe I might try enlarging one of these springs. Since it fits on this toothpick, maybe I've got the toothpick as a form to stretch a spring out. Because I do really want to try getting a weaker spring on this, but I'm definitely not cutting the original, because if it doesn't work, I don't want to have a completely non-functional engine if I cut that original, so. Okay, well, I went and found something to cut these springs with and try again to stretch one of these out. My camera decided it didn't like its memory card because it's getting old and weird. And I think I'm going to just try and deform this spring to make it fit. But that means, you know, hand rebending it. Try not to pierce myself too much with it. Alright, well, that's not going to work. I just had to keep looking. It's very frustrating that all these springs are just a tiny bit too small. Yeah, always just a bit too small. try stretching this just. You know, that actually doesn't fit too bad. Maybe we'll try. Or I will successfully drop both halves of that spring after I cut it. That is... Wait. Alright, I guess I'm going to go looking for those spring halves, because, of course, I wasn't careful enough to keep track of that when I thought I had it working. Alright, well, giving up again on finding a new spring to fit in there. This is turning back into a popping the lid off this and putting it back together instructional video, I guess. So yeah, once I figured out the quick way to get the governor apart, it was actually pretty nice. The key is you have to check to make sure that you put the pins back in from the correct side, so stick the original spring back in there and keep looking for sources of other tiny springs to get a collection to try out. And these tiny pins, because they're steel threaded into brass, you got a big danger of cross threading them. So see, when I put them in, I get them pushed all the way through, and then I turn them backwards until they click into the first thread, so that I make sure that they're properly lined up there. But anyhow, yeah. Alright, well, those three other springs that I found, still a bust for this. And like I said, I'll have to keep looking for springs. I'm mostly scavenging them out of generic cigarette lighters, because those things are, built with whatever they have to hand. It's not like they have a real standard spring that goes in them, and all of the springs I've had so far have been slightly different from each other, so and all the ones I've tried have been slightly different sizes, so eventually I'll get lucky and find one that works.